the rule of thumb was it had to be at least older than I was. But now, of course, that was a long time ago, so the bar has been raised a little bit. But I can't imagine things having to be preserved that are at least anything younger than 72. And I would think roughly 100 years should be a marker. Otherwise, you're just finding reasons not to move forward in improvements. And then I can see, you know, well, frankly, if they're younger than, say, 72, they really should be dispensed with and replaced with something younger and more vital. Now, I don't know whether we have any comment on that, but that's my attitude. Is there a law that what does the law say? At least what? 50 years old.
Well, it's 50, but there's other things that go along with that.
Something 50 years old is historic?
No, it's
Aren't you more than 50 years old?
Yes,
All right, well, I don't want to get too off the track here, but it's just, you know, the historic designation is going to be a problem. I think I mentioned this in the past. Yeah, Destry, speak up for the
There's no prohibition, outright prohibition in the Historic Preservation Act for tearing a building down. It just has to be well documented before you do, so that whatever it has to contribute to the historic record is documented. But if the authority is there in the law to take down a building that is deemed, you know, unsalvageable, unredeemable, unrestorable, and not being used for, you know, a historic reuse purpose.
But do they really use 50 years?
That is the rule of thumb.
Jesus. All right.
Mr. Chairman,
it doesn't happen
Not all right, but yeah, Ron, what are you going to tell us about?
fly in the ointment, and I won't speak for the HPO because sitting here, I'll speak for myself, but the fly in the ointment is that it's contributing to the landmark historic district. And so that puts a little different fail-safe checks that we have to kind of jump through in order to do it. Regardless of whether it's 50 years or 70 years.
Okay, if it contributes to the historic district, but you know, when resources are scarce, it does seem to me we should focus on the truly historic. If we got some truly historic buildings that are worth investing in and maintaining and sustaining and so on, and then others that you know, maybe taking resources from that ability to preserve truly historic buildings. It's just a comment. And in the entrance, the gateway there, so you want to take those two buildings down, the two that you first encountered. Jay says no. Isn't that what you want to do? I mean, there's a nice sign there, but it's blocked by the sort of that the gatekeeper's shed, the gatehouse. You follow the gatehouse? That's what you want to take down, right? There are two buildings there. Those are the ones.
It's the guard shack that was built in 1990, so it's not. There's nothing significant about that. And then there's the marquee that's 1970.
That sounds good.
Ish, yeah. They're not 100 years old. They're not 50 years old. So
and they don't seem to have any reason to keep them. Let's go now. Clark Mercer, who is now the chief of staff to the governor, and we want to also put in the notes that we all congratulated the vice chair of the authority on his becoming governor. So he wants to put a statue of something along. I suppose that's where what you put some nude statue of Benjamin Butler or something there in the front. That it will find something that would, if you want to do that, I guess that's the place where you put the statue thing that Clark was talking about. So,
Well, Mr. Chairman, one of the things is that the you know, a design like this does begin to create some interesting green area spaces along there. So there could be some opportunities for that. I will tell you that Superintendent Brown and myself are working with Project 1619, and we're beginning to identify various sites on the property. One of the things that's important to Project 1619 for a memorial project, though, is parking. And so this would be a difficult location for them because it's such a traffic, it's going to be so much traffic going through there. And I also want to mention too, because sometimes when we show ideas at Fort Monroe, someone is quick to point out that it has not been through the consulting process yet, and so forth. And I just want to simply say, like John said, or Mr. Hudson said, there's a dozen or more ideas that we have been evaluating with our engineers, trying to solve the transportation problem. We might be able to solve the transportation problem, but yet not, then we're going to have a problem trying to solve the historic alignment issues and view sheds of the property. So we have a protocol process we're going to have to go through. This is a long way from being approvable. This is merely an idea, and we're glad that you appear to be so receptive to us exploring these ideas, and that's what we're doing right now.
Well, we certainly wouldn't want to come up with any idea that we didn't pay a consultant to agree with first. Okay, well, but I understand. I do want to say that the parking at the entrance is critically important, because the parking at the entrance enables us to have some type of bus or whatever, public transit, a little trolley or something that would take people through the fort. So the more capacity we have to move larger numbers of people on some kind of public transit through the fort, the better. And so that parking at the front should be a priority, because it'll help us to preserve the integrity of the rest of the fort. The fewer automobiles on the main part of the fort, as far as I'm concerned, the better. I would think the Park Service would agree with that. Have we moved into the chairman's report here? Chairman's commentary.
Mr. Chair, I do